Sharita Bagby with I Am Goddess Life, and welcome to the Goddess Realm. Happy Sunday, y'all. I hope your day is going amazing so far. I don't know where you're at, but I'm in Houston, and it is freezing. Dear Lord, I woke up this morning like, don't make me get out of bed. There's a reason why I left the Midwest. It was primarily because of the weather. So I say all that to say, hopefully you are warm and toasty wherever you are at. Let's get started, y'all. Let's social it up. Anytime you hear or see the word social, that means stop what you're doing, grab a glass of water, chug a lug, and then boop. Make sure you hit like when you're done. Good morning, Nate and Angela. I hope y'all are having a great day so far. So, you guys, a new week abounds. Yeah. Not that it was a bad week or anything last week. It's just like, I used to be one of those people who I would live for the weekends. And now kind of like yesterday, I actually woke up and I was talking to my husband. I was like, is today Tuesday? Because I've finally created a life that doesn't require me to live for the weekends. Like every day feels like a weekend, right? But I say all of that to say that I used to think like every Monday was a fresh start. And then I got to a point where I started realizing every day is a fresh start. And now, guys, really I'm at the mindset where every moment to moment is a fresh start. Like earlier I wasn't really in a bad mood. I just wasn't as high vibrating as I normally am and where I wanted to be. And I was like, well, Sharita, you can continue to do what you're doing and stay where you're at, or you can make a decision to be different in the next minute. And it was like, okay, do what you need to do. So I say all that to say it only takes a moment to make a decision to be totally different, right? So new week, new day, new moment. Let's dive in. Thank you, God. Thank you to our angels, our goddesses, our guides, our fairies for all the amazing guidance and direction you continually give us. Please continue to make this reading clear and concise, make it applicable so that all know how to apply it to their lives. Thank you so much for all the abundance and blessing that you bring us, and ask that anyone who hears this message be blessed, well, abundantly. All these many wonderful things we ask in unconditional love. Amen. Oh my gosh, you guys, sometimes I make my own self giggle. Good morning, Drea. I hope your day is going well. So I'm looking around because I'm not entirely sure where our message is coming from. We will grab a spirit animal, and I think we are going to talk to our goddesses today, but my eye keeps going to this, crystal magic, take it, got it, okay, got the card, to the crystal magic deck, or the crystal magic, earth magic, crystal mandala, there we go. So let me slide these back in here. Thank you, goddesses. What do you have for us today? I honestly don't think we're talking to our goddesses today. That was kind of a Sharita thing. Like, let me go where it's comfortable. And my guides were like, nah. That's like the story of my life these days. For real. And I'm not complaining because it's amazing when you move beyond your comfort zone. Like, you start to find this whole realm of like possibilities that you didn't know existed because you would have never allowed yourself to think or to feel that way, or to, get outside your comfort zone. So I know that was a little off topic, but I called myself being comfortable, and my guides were like, nah, let's just go ahead and do it. Now I see why. Thank you, Gaia. Thank you, Earth Magic. Thank you, fairies. What do you have for us today? Got it. Wow. One more. Phew. Holy cow. Talk about flying out the deck. All right, well, now that I'm seeing these cards, I see why. All right, let's dive in, y'all. All right, Drea says the mic is hard to hear. I will move it around. Hopefully that makes it a little easier for you. But it is set at its normal level, so hopefully that will that will help make some adjustments. Okay, so our first card today is the Eagle Communion. And let's see, I think we're going to just get to the point on these. Bear with me, guys. Oh, because I'm looking up the wrong card. All right, and again, I'm getting more and more familiar with these, but I do not have these cards memorized by any way, shape, or form. Hey, Javon, good morning. So I am going to read these. Okay, Eagle Communion, and let's push in a little bit. I'm going to try something new here. I don't know what's going on with my tripod. There we go. That way your head doesn't feel so lopsided. I'm going to see what we can do here. See what the zoom feature does for us. All right, cool. All right. Awesome. Thanks for the heads up, Drea. Communion. Whenever you experience a heartfelt communion with some physical expression of life, whether that be plant, animal, human, or anything else, it is only then that you can truly feel how your life force is similar to the life force that is all around you. It is only a matter of the differences in form. In essence, is articulated into the physical world in a multitude of ways that is the same in everything and everyone, although it manifests in various shapes and characteristics. This essence is spirit emanating from the core of all things. Communion with nature is essential for you now. Take some time to do an open-eyed meditation with any nearby animal or plant. Relax your body as much as possible. Breathe consciously and keep your attention on the life form you are communing with. After a few moments, you will notice a sense of the boundaries dissolving, a melding of the I and thou. You may receive messages or impressions as you find yourself in the flow of unspoken communication. Hey, Carly. One thing I will tell y'all is that if you have not had an opportunity to try this, please, please, absolutely do. And again, the communion, what you're going to do, relax your body as much as possible and breathe consciously. Keep your attention on the life form you are communing with. So shoot for an animal, shoot for a plant. Personally, I like plants because it's easier for me to focus, because animals, sometimes they can move around or they blink, or, my mind starts just moving around. So I find plants a little easier. That's just me. You do you. But after a few moments, so you're going to keep your attention on the life form that you're communing with. And after a few moments, what you'll start to notice is a sense of the boundaries dissolving, a melding of the I and thou. You may receive messages or impressions as you find yourself in the flow of unspoken communication. So the biggest thing, guys, about this is just recognizing that the life force that runs through the plants, through the trees, through the animals is the same life force that runs through you. It's just spirit emanating through the core of different things, right? So everything manifests in the world, just some in different, various shapes and characteristics. So here, the man and the eagle make contact through their eyes and spirits. The man has performed a ceremonial calling to the eagle, to Eagle Brother, who now comes to him as a familiar friend. It's an innate relationship between human being and feathered being, one of both spirit and flesh, yet it is ultimately this deep spiritual kinship that connects them, formed on their recognition of the sacredness of this bond. Eagle spirit is often associated with the highest and noblest, encouraging us to let our spirits soar. Through this communication, we know that we can touch the sky. We know that we can be more than just two-legged creatures clinging to the ground. We're intimately related to all life on the planet, and it's through communing with any expression of life that we realize how vitally connected we all are. Oh my goodness, I love this. I love this. One of the things, guys, that in doing discovery sessions, a lot more discovery sessions lately, that I'm really finding is that a lot of you are looking to get in harmony with one, to get in harmony with spirit, to kind of get those divinely inspired messages. And so this is a great way to go about that. And the fact of the matter is, the last week and a half, we've been directed over and over and over and over and over again to go outside, get in nature. Get in nature. And now we're directly being told to commune with nature. Notice the life force that flows throughout nature is the same life force that flows through you. And as you begin communing, what happens is you begin to dissolve the lines of I and thou. And you start to notice your intimate connection to all things. To all things. Interesting card that we have next, because I feel like we just got something like this on Friday. Fire, passion. All right. Fire, passion. Since the dawn of humankind, we've been fascinated by fire. As soon as early humans were able to make fire, it changed our lifestyle dramatically. Through its capacity to generate heat and light, fire made it possible to cook food, stay warm in cooler climates, and keep predators away at night. And of course, that huge furnace called the sun is the spark of life here on Earth, bringing not only the necessary warmth of this incredibly huge ball of fire, but also the life-giving rays of the light emanated by that fire. In this card, a man is enacting an ancient ceremonial fire dance originating from Samoa, at one time performed to ignite the passion of warriors before battle. We can inspire others' passions as well. We speak of being on fire or catching fire, phrases signifying that we possess an intense desire or enthusiasm for something. No wonder that passion has come to be associated with fire. What are your passions? What turns you on? What ignites that inner flame, that creative spark? When you feel devoid of passion, consider what is missing in your life. It is most likely an absence of the fire in your belly, or something that makes your heart beat faster and quickens your breathing. Passion is not something that comes from outside of you, although some events and circumstances can trigger it. It is an intensity of feeling, whether quietly experienced or enthusiastically expressed. Passion can simply be a strong feeling or a sensation itself that can be so powerful that it motivates you to act. This is too often associated with exclusively with sexuality, which is certainly one way of experiencing it, yet it limits its meaning and demeans the broader possibilities. Open yourself to the truth of what you are passionate about and find a means to express it. I love that. Open a truth to find what you are passionate about, and open yourself to the truth of what you are passionate about and find a means to express it. And I love this because we just had this card about communing with nature. And as we commune with nature, I mean, that is a great way to begin to get in touch with self, to understand what is it exactly that is really creating that fire burning within my belly. What is it that I'm exactly passionate about? The beautiful part about communing with nature is that spirit, God, source, your higher self, will send you spirit animals, will send you signs, feelings, inspired thought through nature, through being able to let go of all that man-made ish, all the clutter in your mind, right? And all of a sudden you may see, for example, this eagle soaring in the sky, and it reminds you of how when you were a kid you used to pretend to fly and how exciting and how it made you feel and blah, 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 blah. But, you know, and I'm using that as a broad example. But really reconnecting with that fire that's in your belly, reconnecting with that passion. And sometimes the easiest way to reconnect is to disengage from all the other stuff and to get back to your natural self, get back to nature, get back to noticing and allowing that life force to flow through you. And as that life force begins to flow through you, you begin to get that divine inspired thought, that divine passion of, oh yeah, this was the feeling that I got when I used to do X, Y, and Z, and I forgot how much I love that. I forgot how alive it made me feel. I forgot how intense that emotion, that feeling, that vibration was. So reconnect with that fire in your belly. The next card we have is love and compassion. Holy cow. So far, I feel like this is wrapping up like everything that we've had the last week or so. Love, compassion. In this beautiful image, we see hands reaching towards each other through a heart. The green field surrounding them is the color of the fourth or heart chakra. It's when we feel love in our heart that we not only naturally emit the healing energy of compassion, but we also attract love and compassion. Studies by the Heart Math Institute reveal that electrical signals from the heart are up to 60 times stronger than the brains, and the magnetic field is as much as 5,000 times more powerful. Let me repeat that. Studies by Heart Math Institute reveal that the electrical signals from the heart are up to 60 times stronger than the brains, and the magnetic field is as much as 5,000 times more powerful. Is it a given that our thinking patterns affect our feelings and in turn our reality? What we put out, whether it's love, fear, empathy, sadness, and so forth, contains an incredible amount of power to shape and influence our reality. When the focus on our attention and intention is love and compassion, we recognize no separation between self and other. I just want to come back to that. When the focus of our attention and intention is love and compassion, we recognize no separation between self and other. All wounds stem from the illusion of separation from source and all of creation. The route to healing this wound is through cultivating love and compassion for every being on this planet, including yourself. Not a bland standard of unquestionable acceptance, but a heartfelt sense of profound readiness to whatever you perceive as a part of yourself. True compassion requires not only the feeling of warmth that emanates when you are in touch with your heart center, but in acts of kindness, even if this simply means being fully attentive listener. Respect the fact that your heart is a giver, putting out electrical energy, and a receiver, drawing in magnetic energy. These energies are best sensed by attending to the steady flow of your breathing while also noticing your heart area. Righteousness, fear, anger, and judgment are some common ways to block your natural desire to love. Forgiveness is not only letting go of judgment, but also seeing through the illusion, I love this, but also seeing through the illusion that you and all that is are separate. Look about you and inside you and do your best to love whatever you see. Oh my goodness, I love this. Javon says, wow, like we've been learning for the past few months. Abso-freaking-lutely. You know, guys, one of the big lessons that I've been getting in my personal life, and especially with, you know, how just extreme politics are and events throughout the world, not only in our country, but throughout the world, is to really get in a place of compassion. Again, recognizing that whether I agree with this person, disagree with them, whether I can't stand their guts, love them to death, what have you, that I'm not separate from them. And that at the end of the day, I cannot, me standing against them through frustration, through judgment, through arguing, through what have you, all of those quote unquote negative terms, does not help the situation. That's me continuing to make the situation worse. So by getting into a place of unconditional love, recognizing that that person has the right to live their life as they choose to live it. They have the right to think and feel as they choose to think and feel. And that at the end of the day, it's not my job to prove who's right or who's wrong, or how correct I am, or how much I'm acting out of love and they're acting out of hate. That's not the point. My point at the end of the day is just to love through compassion. Unconditional love. Unconditional love means I love this person, these persons, despite their acts. It doesn't matter what they do. Nothing that they do can stop me from loving them. And here's the deal, guys. That is what overcomes. Sitting back on our high horse and on our soapbox and saying, oh my God, that is so wrong. Who lets their kids do that? Oh my God, I can't believe they voted that way. Oh my God, I can't believe their politics are that way. I can't believe this person is standing or this person is kneeling. I can't believe that these people don't understand. Who cares? It's not about that. It's about recognizing that I'm not separate from these people, that at the end of the day, the same life force that runs through them is the same life force that runs through me. And if I want to create, it's got to be out of a place of unconditional love. It's got to be out of a place of compassion. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. Really. It's not about proving what's right or wrong. That's the, as my friend said to me once, and it took me a few years to understand truly what she meant. But she was like, just recognize that's the ego's will to survive. But the biggest thing we've been directed over this last week and a half in particular, but especially over this last week, is to really start moving into a heart-centered place. We've been getting the card Isolt so much. Isolt telling us, not only in the group readings, but in a lot of you in your personal readings as well, and Izalt talking to us about how your heart is healed, how your heart is healing. It's going through the process of transformation. You're getting into a place where you can begin to see and love unconditionally. We've been getting so much with Goddess Kali and Goddess Kali and endings and beginnings. And remember, Goddess Kali isn't just talking about physical things happening in the world where we're ending one position and we're starting a new position, but also the shedding of the ego. The shedding of the ego self, recognizing that we are so much more than just these two legs that are bound to this earth, right? That we are connected to all life force, and that the way to overcome or the way to influence is through unconditional love, because what I'm sending out directly affects exactly what I get back, right? So if we keep running into situations, we keep running into people, and we're not getting that unconditional love, we're not feeling it, it starts in two ways. Number one, it starts with feeling it for yourself. Unconditional love must always first be directed inward. It must always be first directed inward, having unconditional love for yourself. Not saying I'll love myself when I look like this. I'll be really happy with myself when I reach that level. But loving yourself no matter where you're at and no matter what's going on in your life and in your world. Because when you're in that place of unconditional love where you're directing love inward, you're now telling the universe, hey, I love me no matter what. I'm worth it no matter what. And then the universe then turns around and says, hey, you know what? Let me send you more love and compassion, unconditional love, divine love and healing. Because you're worth it. If you believe you're worth it, I believe you're worth it. But what happens, guys, is we love ourselves and we love other people conditionally. When, oh, well, this person, I can't, but, and I have caught my own damn self, even in the last few weeks, seeing different people where I get to know them and I'm thinking this person's really cool. And then you get on their Facebook page and I start seeing their politics and I'm really kind of offended. And I'm like, screw that. And I had to check myself like, Sharita, who the hell are you to dictate what their reality is? Who the hell are you to judge them for their feelings and their beliefs? The fact of the matter is they're not separate from you. You love them from where they're at. You love them from where you're at. You love yourself enough to not put yourself in a position to be frustrated and upset. But it doesn't mean that you have to stand against them. You still love and respect them as a human being. I still love and respect their right on earth, but I recognize that I am more than just this physical being with two legs bound to the physical earth. That I am multidimensional, as are you, and we exist on all levels. We are multidimensional and multifaceted. So allowing that love to flow, getting in a place of being heart-centered. And as we direct that love inward towards self, then it makes it so much easier to start directing it outward. And again, what we send out is exactly what we get back. So if we're sending judgment out, if we're sending conditional love out, oh man, I don't really like that person anymore. She started dressing funny. She started listening to this weird music. She voted Republican. She voted Democrat. She voted Independent. She didn't vote at all. I don't really agree with her politics. They stand during the flag. They kneel during the anthem. What have you. It's not about that. That's conditional love. And then we wonder why we keep running into opposition, why we keep running into resistance. Because that's what we're putting out into the world. So when you can truly get to a place of unconditional love, of truly get to a place of being truly showing divine compassion, oh my gosh, it literally opens the doors for your higher chakras, for 5, 6, and 7 to go like gangbusters, right? But so many of us are trapped, closed somewhere in here. We're trying to make the connection. And the thing that I realized about myself, probably, it's been almost going on probably about 2 years now, is my heart chakra was something that it took me a long time to realize this, but not only was it closed, but I was actively holding it closed. And what I realized was a lot of that was out of my own fear and my own insecurity and own experiences of the past that left me feeling like, well, I could never love or trust in that way again. I could never fully give my whole self to someone. And then wondering why my relationship seemed so distant. I mean, come on, right? Okay, guys, so let me keep moving because otherwise we will be here all day. The next card we have, and we've gotten this card a couple times, past few times we have used this deck. And bear with me, I'm working with a new Zoom function, so I have to move, have to kind of move things around. Sorry. Rebirth, equinox. All right, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Maybe we'll just go back to moving the whole camera. All right, y'all. Rebirth, spring equinox. And I love this because this is where, and I'm going to say us because me included, many of us are finding ourselves right now. And I love this because we were told so many times moving into fall that by our fairies that coming into fall, what would happen? That things would start to come together, that we would see the bigger picture, and that we would start to reap great harvests, or harvests of abundance, multiple harvests of abundance. And I think a lot of us are seeing that in the sense that that as we get more clarity, as we get more abundance, that we're stepping into a new place. We're starting to get better understanding. Drea says, it's nice to hear how you have grown and continue to grow as well. It makes it more clear we are in this together. Absolutely. I mean, we're all in a continual state of growing. It's whether or not we choose to accept it and to move forward with it. We are, as I always say, y'all have always seen me say, we are in it together. We are in it together. We all move at different pace. We all have different understanding, different, clarity, different timing. And it's okay. It's okay. It's just getting, again, back to that place of love and compassion. Spring equinox, rebirth. The spring equinox, also called the vernal equinox, occurs March 21st, in the northern hemisphere, and September 20th or 21st in the southern hemisphere. This is the point where the sun crosses the plane of the equator and the day and night are the same length across the planet. Earth Mother is pregnant and is birthing once again. Crops can once again be planted. This card features a rendition of Ostra. Haven't we been getting Ostra so much recently? Fertility, the last few days. Oh my gosh, guys, I love this. This card features a rendition of Ostra. Sometimes it just shows a couple of different spellings. Ostara, Oestre, or Eastre. A Germanic goddess of spring. Ostra is also a Northern European name for Astarte, which means womb, and is another name for Venus, the goddess of love, passion, and creativity. The goddess of love, passion, and creativity. Dang, guys. I'm going to just, while we're here, let's just talk about it. Let's just keep these things on our mind. The Christian holiday of Easter stems from this goddess, and in this card, we see some archetypal symbols of the spring equinox that represent the rebirth of the world, such as rabbits, eggs, and flowers. It is indeed a time for renewal. Yes, it is. I know y'all have got to be feeling it as well. You thought this passage you have been through would never end. Just as certain as the light of the world fades every few months, it makes its return and the earth rejoices. The fresh breath of spring sweeps away the cobwebs acquired from the absence of light. The light is now obviously increasing as nature begins to emerge in all her many forms, shapes, and colors that remind us of the continual cycles of Mother Earth. This cycle of rebirth you are experiencing follows a considerably challenging time. Any tears you may have shed have cleared the way for what is being gestated, which is now ripe and ready to emerge. That which no longer serves you needs to be put to rest so that a freshness and newness of spirit can make itself known to you. Sometimes birth can be painful, particularly in that passage just before delivery, yet what emerges can be fresh and beautiful. Be with the emergence of this next cycle of faith and grace. I love this. Javon says, man, this is a very pointed reading. Javon, I'm just saying though. I mean, the thing about this, guys, this is just absolutely blowing me because I even think back to early spring when we really started doing the goddess readings in the group alone, and just how the message has continually from, between seasons and lunar cycles has continually just evolved and taken us from one step to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And here we're in this place, and what I love in particular is where the card that popped out is Ostra. And Ostra, you know, is another name for Venus, the goddess of love, passion, and creativity. Love, passion, and creativity. And that's the big thing that we've been getting. Our goddesses in particular have been talking to us really in this last week about shifting further into our life purpose. Now that we're in a place where we've discovered or are discovering, but really getting into to walking and living that life purpose. And here's the deal, guys. Just because you have one job and your life purpose is something else doesn't mean you cannot fully walk in your life purpose because your occupation is something else. Here, and I say that because sometimes those are the restrictions that we give ourselves. Again, because we get into that place of conditional love. I will feel like I'm fully in my life purpose when it looks like this. I will feel like I truly love myself and I'm so proud of myself when I reach this level. I'll feel this once I get there. That's conditional. That's conditional, but we're being guided and directed to to shift into that place of unconditional love, to shift into that place of letting that fire burn within our belly. And the thing is, as we do that, we create newness. Just like our goddess card tells us, it's time to give way to new conditions, give birth to new ideas, to start new projects, to move forward. Don't worry about the how. Release the how. Release the how. Release the how. And that's one of the things, guys. Sometimes we're like, oh yeah, my goal is for it to make $8,000 next month by doing this, and this. You've just now restricted your own abundance. Because now you've made it conditional. I'll be happy when I manifest this like that. When really the universe says, be happy where you're at right now. Put it out there. This is what I need. I need the flow of abundance, or this is what I want, for the flow of abundance. And in universe, I already feel the abundance because I know you've got my back, Jack. And I'm in a perfect place no matter what my bank account looks like. I'm provided and taken care of no matter how many zeros are before or after the decimal. I'm provided, I'm taken care of. I live exuberantly. I have everything that I want and need, even though my bank account says negative 57 cents, right? Now, thankfully, it doesn't say that, so I'm neutralizing my words here. But what I'm getting at, you guys get the point. You get the point. To not be conditional, to get out of that conditional thinking. I mean, that's how we're pretty much raised. You're a successful student once you reach this grade level, or once you reach this grade on a test, right? But the fact of the matter is that let me not even go there. The fact of the matter is that you're successful no matter what. Did you learn something? Did you move forward? Did you comprehend? Especially for you mommies out there, I know that, and daddies, because I know we get men that watch this as well. Y'all know, I'm sure, know what it's like when your child is struggling in school and you know they get the information, but it's perhaps the way it's being presented. Or they want your kid to show their math, and the math that they're teaching doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But your kid understands how to subtract 12 from 23. Right? So it's frustrating because they're focused on the how, but the end result is still the same. My child still understands how to perform, how to get to the right level. Same thing with ourselves, guys. We hold so many conditions over ourselves. And in turn, because we hold conditions over ourselves, we then think it's okay to hold conditions over others in other situations. Falsely judging, adding more restriction to our flow of abundance, because the fact of the matter is your flow of abundance is always there. It's always ready to dump on you. It's always ready to emerge you in the abundance, but it's us, it's you, it's our thoughts that restrict ourselves, that keep ourselves from everything that we want, that we need, right? Getting into that place of compassion really allows us to begin to be new people. to begin to give access to new ideas. Guys, I was thinking about my goals yesterday. I was sitting here and I was kind of going through, actually, I'm not back here. I'm sorry. I was actually in my living room. Hubs and I were kind of laying around on the couch and he was dozing, and it was just a beautiful day. The sun was shining through. Now that it's fall, I actually get, with the earth tilt, I get direct sunlight. And so all I could think about was, man, Sharita, you have some really ambitious goals, and they're getting even more ambitious, like almost week by week. And the thing that I realized was what it was I allowed myself to start to show myself compassion, right? I allowed myself to get in a place of saying, you know what? I am thrilled, so exuberantly thrilled. I'm so exceptionally content with exactly where I'm at in life. And once I started to see my life in that manner, what happened was, where it once was like walking down a brick hallway, now that I got into this place of compassion for myself, loving and accepting, knowing that I am already freaking amazing, that I've taken the conditions off of my happiness, I've taken the conditions off of what I consider to be prosperity, that now all of a sudden these random doors are opening up in just the most random of places. All of a sudden, I find myself getting tidbits where in the past I said, I really want to, and I'll give you a direct example. There are two people in particular over the last 2 months that I've really, really wanted to get some one-on-one coaching with. And these people, for my business in particular, and these are high dollar business coaches, like in the $700 an hour range, right? And so I've been really just putting it out there. And I'm like, you know what? It's not that I'm going to sit here and keep saying, oh, I'll be happy once I get to get coaching from these people. I'll be happy once these people help me with my business. What I changed to is my business is thriving. It's doing amazing right now. And I am already grateful for the abundance of coaching and information that I'm already receiving from these people, whether it be one-on-one, whether it be in a group setting, whether it be on a webinar, whether it be on a Q&A. These people are helping my business to grow, and the knowledge, they're helping me to recognize the knowledge that's already there within me. And do you know what happened? I kid you not. Randomly, earlier in this week, one of them hit me up and she said, hey, I want to follow up with you. Let's do a coaching call. And I was like, awesome, because I love the way that this woman's mind works when it comes to business. It is so freaking amazing. Well, then I had my call with her later on that afternoon. Really about 3 hours later, I was on a webinar with the other person, and this other person accidentally clicked on, he was going through some of our things, and he accidentally clicked on something else, which brought up something else of mine. And he said, hold on, we're going to kind of go off topic here. Sharita, let me give you these tidbits. Do this, and this. And I was like, oh my God, do you know how much money I would have paid for that, for those little bits of tidbit that he just stopped the webinar and said, hold on, Sharita, I want to look at your page here and do this, do that over there and do that over there. And then let me know how that works, next time. This is what I'm getting at, guys. I got to a place where I started feeling the abundance. I stopped restricting myself. I already started giving gratitude, knowing that even the little tidbits that I got from these people, whether it was on a post that they gave on Facebook, that it was benefiting me. And then guess what? Out of nowhere, twice in one day, I get one-on-one direct help for my business from people, again, who I would have considered in the past unattainable and or out of my price range, right? Y'all know that story about my credit card that I told you, was it last week, week before? Yeah, it was right on the 18th. So about 10 days ago, 11 days ago, I told you the story about my credit card and how all of a sudden it popped up and it was like no payment due. Well, I went to check it yesterday just to see, so I can start prepping for next month. And all of a sudden they are no longer charging me interest. My payment has dropped to literally a third of what it was for my minimum payment, which now gives me a place to really begin to focus on my balances. Because here's the deal, guys. My biggest thing that I started going to was I left from the position of I need money because I wanted this, and I need money because that was in a place of lack. What I started doing was feeling all the abundance that I have. I already have an amazing credit score. I have amazing abundance. I have a growing credit limit and credit worthiness. And out of nowhere, it just popped up. on a credit card that I've had for years now. Usually it's the other way around. Usually you get 0% interest in the beginning, and then it goes up later according to your usage, right? After that initial period. But you're telling me out of nowhere, so what I'm getting at is, had I said, I have to start making more money at my job to do this, and then once I get to that point, I'll be happy because then I can take that money and I can do this over here, and then I'll be happy about that, and then I'll feel like I'm abundant, then I've just completely restricted myself. I put restrictions on my flow of abundance. But now that I've moved to this new place, I've refound my passion. I've reignited that fire, and I've moved into this place of unconditional love. Unconditional love for me, for where I'm at, for my situation, for what's going on. And what happens is I now put myself in alignment with the abundance and the universe. Spirit, God, source, your higher self. Because again, you're not separate from God. Your higher self, Spirit, God, has in an infinite way, an infinite number of ways to orchestrate and to bring about exactly what you want. But you, in your limited human thinking, you put conditions on it saying it has to look like this, it has to look like that. Who the heck cares how it got there as long as it's there and it's according to your highest good, correct? Y'all feel me on this. I know you feel me on this. So at the end of the day, and this is what I talked about, when you get to this point where you can really begin to open up this heart chakra, where you can really begin to get into this place of unconditional love for yourself, for others, being completely content where you're at, not only being completely content, but being in a place of not only gratitude, but appreciation for exactly where you're at, knowing that where you're at is exactly where you're supposed to be, and that every moment of every day, abundance naturally flows your way, and that you are always in tune with it. You start to see things literally manifest in your physical world. Y'all, I kid you not. That is why I changed the name to I Am Goddess Life. You are not separate from God. You have absolute control over everything that you bring about or don't bring about in your life. And now that you know it, now that you are consciously aware of it, because if you weren't, you are today, then it is now an absolute choice. It is an absolute choice. So please stay aware of your thoughts. Stay aware of your feelings. This is why I talk so much about being aware of what kind of television you're watching, what kind of music you're listening to, the type of people that you're hanging around. We've been getting from our fairies so much about being assertive, be assertive, be assertive. And the thing of it is what do we say? Being assertive means standing up for what you need, standing up for your beliefs. Being assertive means allowing that fire to burn in your belly. But it doesn't necessarily mean standing against someone else, right? It doesn't mean going against someone else. It means standing up for yourself, loving yourself enough, seeing yourself, even though the world is saying, oh my gosh, the world's going to hell in a handbasket and we'll never recover from this economically, and oh, I can't believe, and it's been ruined, and the world, even though the world is saying that, that's why the world is stuck where they're stuck. But now you are in a place to love everything about that world unconditionally. That even though we see, little kids doing dancing and this, that, and the other, and we're thinking, oh my God, my mother would have never let me do that, it's okay. Love them it's not our place to judge. It's our place to recognize the love and the light that is within them, to recognize that we are not separate from them, that we are in communion with all life force at all time. And again, guys, this is the beautiful thing. When you first get into communion, it makes it so much easier, because when you start to realize just how connected you are to everything and everyone in this universe, not only on this planet, but in this universe, then it makes it a lot easier to get into that place of compassion. All right, so let's get to our last card today. And our last card, which is one of the first cards we drew, is the eagle, which I just, kind of love. But our eagle says, do the right thing. What do you suppose that right thing is in reference to today? Do the right thing. Sometimes we don't want to Sometimes we don't want to, out of our own selfish nature, out of our own ego. Be compassionate. Do the right thing. Do it out of love. That's all I gotta say. I want to just go over this real quick, guys, because hopefully the more and more we get into this, hopefully it's making more sense. A goddess uses her knowledge of universal laws of nature, her conscious mind, and esoteric powers to manifest her dream. A goddess understands how to transform situations using her highest influence to make her visions and dreams a reality. Hopefully this is starting to make more and more and more and more sense. Okay? Universal laws of nature, conscious mind, esoteric powers. Put them together, she manifests her dreams. She understands how to transform situations using her highest influence to make her visions and dreams a reality. What do you suppose your highest influence is? I'll let you marinate on that. Just sit and think on that. She uses her highest influence to make her visions and dreams a reality. I am Goddess Life. I love this reading. Okay, guys, I was like, oh, this is going to be a quick one. We're going to get in, we're going to get out. But yeah, we are moving in some deeper direction. And I hope y'all are ready. Because the thing that I know is that the people that I'm working with, like, we're going to go. No, correction. We are going. We are taking off. We are soaring. And I know that it doesn't make sense to everyone, but those who do know, do know. Okay, Javon says, yeah, I've been noticing a lot of guilt around some relationships, holding on to people out of guilt, now beginning to see how to live out of love. I get that, Javon. And, you know, some of it is just our training coming up, our understanding, our quote-unquote programming. I know exactly what you mean. Javon says, same with money, guilt there too, letting go of that and focusing on the truth of love. You know, there are some people that I have kept around in the past, and it was out of, you know, obligation. And I ultimately had to ask myself, you know, if I'm keeping them around out of obligation and not necessarily out of true love, then I'm hurting both of us. I'm honestly hurting both of us. And that's when I go into, you guys hear me talk about all the time, imagining that balloon, that person is a balloon tied to my heart. And I receive that unconditional love, because the truth of the matter is that in my limited human thinking, my love can be conditional sometimes. So that's why I go into that power place to receive divine, unconditional divine love. And I allow myself to fill up. And then as it starts to overflow, it overflows into that string. And then I fill that balloon up with unconditional love, sending that balloon, that person, with unconditional love. And then I cut the tie and release and let it go. And where we jack ourselves up sometimes is because that old habit of thinking, of that guilt sets in, or that obligation sets in. And then we let it start to set in, and we let it start to fester, and then we start thinking about this person, and then all of a sudden they start calling again. Or we run into them, and we're like, how the heck? But the fact of the matter is, as soon as we notice that old habit of thinking coming in, that's when we go back to our new I am a new creation. I am a goddess. I'm using my highest influence. I am sending this person love and continuing to release. Doesn't mean you're standing against them. Doesn't mean you're walking away. Same thing with money. One of the things that I had to start doing was, it's made such a huge difference. Was really, and bear with me because I'm picking my words. I had to stop worrying about money. So at this point, when I talk about this, I'm going to talk about me, because I want to be careful with my words. I'm not telling you not to worry about it and don't even check your account balance. Like, I'm not telling you to just go spend money willy-nilly. What I am saying is that, of course, it makes sense to do your math, right? To follow basic accounting principles. Don't spend $40 when there's only $20 in there, right? I mean, I think we all know that, right? God bless us. I hope we all know that. But what I'm saying is, when I started spending money, Whether it was on something I had to have or something I wanted, I had to get into the mindset of spending it joyfully. Whether it didn't really affect my account balance, maybe it was something that was $8 on Amazon, or maybe it was something that was $800 that put a, that's a big difference out of my account balance. I'm like, $800, I want that back. It's almost $1,000. That makes numbers change. I don't mind when something happens and it doesn't really look like it changes. I just don't like it when something happens and it looks like it changes, right? Especially if it's going that way. But I had to get to that point of, I'm excited about it. You know what? I'm just grateful I had the money to pay the daggone bill. I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled that this is handled. I'm so thrilled. I'm excited that everything I want and need is already taken care of. It's already provided for. Because in the past, it would be like, I would do math after math after math, and I'm writing it out. Well, what if I do it this way? What if I pay this one here and I pay that one? Oh my gosh, I really hope that I need, and I just really need to manifest $1,000. But what was that? That was a place of lack. That was a place of resistance, because all I was focused on was what I didn't have, right? So it's so important to focus on what you want and to feel it. You attract abundance by not feeling like you need abundance. You attract abundance by living in abundance. I know, sounds pretty crazy, huh? You'll get it. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for joining today. I am thrilled to be able to do today's goddess reading. I know we missed yesterday, but that's just the way it rolls. I'm at a place now, guys, where I'm kind of done apologizing for those things, because when spirit tells me to sit down, I just sit down. When my vibration's not in the right place, I'm not going to force the reading and try and fake the funk. So yesterday was a recharge day for me, and it was much needed. I got up, I got all my stones charged yesterday. There was some beautiful sun, so I'm feeling the buzz. Let's social it up one more time. Boop. Make sure you hit like when you're done. Have an amazing Sunday. And I'm really excited to see where our guides continue to take us. I see now why today they said no to the goddess cards and yes to the earth magic. Woo! Right? Show-woo. And that was just the reminder that I needed as well, guys. So I know, one thing I know is that our messages are going to continue to get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So work with the energy that's at hand. Have an amazing day. In the meantime, if you have any questions, if you're struggling with any abundance blocks, please make sure to schedule a discovery session with me. Use the link in the description. Otherwise, you're always welcome to request your goddess reading. Talk to you soon. Have an awesome Sunday. Stay warm. I hope it's sunny where you're at and all that good jazz. And I will see you tomorrow. Take care.